The definition of freedom. Now, the power or right to act, speak, or think as one wants without hindrance or restraint. We do have some freedom of choice. Prerogative, entitled to, right to, privilege. BostonNewsOutlet.com. Men arrested for placing anti-mask stickers on Manchester City Hall. Kolayim Lab Nawa Yehovah Shem Yahushai B'Shem Rakaha Kodash Kabad Laha Zakonyim Shagamasa Wahab Bayat Shat Dawada Wahab Bakariim. Giving all praise, honor, and glory to Abna Yahweh, who the world calls God. In the name of his only begotten Son Yahushai, the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. As well as send my double honors to the elders and apostles at Great Millstone, and a peace, love, and salutations to Bayat Shad Dawada, which is the house of David, Wahab Bakariim, and the elect that are indeed risen here in these last days, as the scriptures tell us. So, once again, I'll backtrack. Definition of freedom. Noun. The power or right to act, speak, or think as one wants without hindrance. Right, keyword there, without hindrance or restraint. Here we go, local news. Men arrested for placing anti-mask stickers on Manchester City Hall. Manchester's in New Hampshire, all right? It says 3 New Hampshire men were arrested in recent days for placing anti-mask stickers on Manchester City Hall. Manchester police say Monday that they learned that many stickers criticizing the COVID-19 mask mandate were placed on doors at City Hall, along with trash cans and traffic sign posts. They made reference to living in fear, citizens being controlled, and masks being a sign of cowardness. Not only were the stickers inappropriate, all right, inappropriate according to who, right, but were difficult to remove, police say. Police identified 3 men in the video surveillance and issued warrants for them on charges of criminal mischief. They are Skylar Bennett of Concord, 38, Frank Staples of Manchester, 41, Jason Gerhard of Northfield, 35. Bennett and Staples turned themselves into police on March 5th, and Garrett was arrested on March 7th. All were released on personal recognizance. All right, I read this story and I bring up that definition to say this. You know, your freedoms are being taken away from you, man. The freedom to choose what you want to do in the States, what the world calls America, what the scriptures refer to as Babylon the Great. Your freedoms are being slowly taken away from you, man. To the point where you can't criticize the government, and you have no say over the mandates that the government puts into effect, all right? Neither from the government aspect or from the state aspect, all right? He's cracking down on anybody who goes against his narrative and the picture that he paints, all right? Now, real quick, I want to write right here. It says, not only were the stickers inappropriate, but were very difficult to remove. They were inappropriate by saying, I'm going to try to read it if I can find it. It says, police traffic sign posts, they made reference to living in fear, citizens being controlled, and masks being a sign of cowardness. Well, citizens are being controlled. If you're told to do something that you don't want to do, that's control. And if you're punished for not doing something that you don't want to do, or somebody's telling you to do it, right? That's in itself, that's control. Let's look at the word control, the definition of control. Right? The power to influence or direct people's behavior or the course of events. All right? So, you know, their signs weren't necessarily false, man. People are being controlled. When the government tells you got to do this, you can't come out your house, you mandate this and this, that, and third. That's a sign of control. But let me get into the scriptures without further ado. This is Revelation 12 and 12. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. And the devil is the Greek word deceiver, or diabos was the Greek word meaning deceiver. All right, and the devil is referring to the powers that be, man. Right, the people that control the world. The scriptures say the earth is given into the hand of the wicked, and the wicked are the spawns of Esau, Edom. All right, who call themselves so-called today, so-called white people, man. And we even have Eve fighting against his own people, man. But in these last days, he's trying to get his grips on control, right? The devil wants his grips on all the people, man, because he know his kingdom is diminishing, man. All right, so he's going to come with great wrath. He's going to come with force, all right, and all of these things because his power is slipping away from him. So it's time to act and act quick, all right? That's the spirit that these devils are in. All right, let me get another scripture here. This is Matthew 12:25. It says, and Yahushua, who the world calls Jesus, knew their thoughts and said unto them, every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation, and every city or house divided against itself shall not stand. And that's what we have an example of. We have an example of men, whether they're Edomites, they perceive to be Edomites, and they live in New Hampshire. I don't want to just go by, where they dwell. But they could be Esau, Edomites. They could not be. But that's neither here nor there. We have a kingdom that's self-imploded, man. People are going against the sanctions of the government. People are going against the mandates of their cities. People do not agree with their politicians and their leaders. And people are showing that they don't agree, man. All right, and the Lord said, hey, man, when you got a kingdom that's imploding, when you got a kingdom that's fighting itself, it's not going to stand. That's how we know that America is on its last leg, man. All right, we got, an example, the siege of the Capitol building in D.C., all right? The current marches, consistently marching against the government and anti this and anti this, and and the whole issue with Trump and all of that. We got Trump followers and Biden followers. This place is imploding, right, within itself, man. And that's how the Lord is doing it, man. All right, because this place, America, is wicked, according to the scriptures, man, because it pushes everything contrast to the laws of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. This is 2 Ezra 15 and 16. It says, for there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their own power, man. And this is what it's going to boil down to. This is what's going to end up happening. There's going to be a fight against the government, a civil war, if you will, where they're going to have to implement some type of martial law or authority over the people, man. And then the rest of the people that don't want to submit to under that authority are going to be put to death, man. They're going to be put to death, actually. Let me look up another thing real quick. This is draconian laws, all right? This is draconian laws. Draconian laws. Traditional Athenian law code allegedly introduced by Draco 621 BCE, all right? And we know that America is nothing but a infrastructure based on the infrastructure of Rome. All right, so let's read more on this. It says, the draconian laws were most noteworthy of their harshness. They were said to be written in blood rather than ink. Death was prescribed for almost all criminal offenses, man. And this is what it's going to boil down to, draconian laws. The powers that be are slowly tightening the grips. And when I say powers that be, that's the wicked, man. You got your bankers, your high bankers and trillionaires and multi-trillionaires, the banking families, all right, what the world would call the Illuminati, all right. These people, man, they want to control the world, man, and ultimately they want to put a RFID microchip in you and have you under total control, man. And we're starting to see the ugly head of that starting to happen, man, with just, the small squeeze on the people, the small actions of control. All right, let me get this last scripture. It says, this is Revelation 13:16. It says, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. That mark is charagma, all right? Greek word charagma, which means incision or a cut, all right? And that totally explains the RFID microchip, man, because it has to be inserted inside you. It has to cut your skin and be inserted inside you. And this is what their end goal is, man. All right, to chip the world, chip the people, man, and have you under bondage under them. All right, have you under bondage under them, man. And this is an example. So when you see things like this, people being made example of for speaking their own minds and putting up their flyers on how they feel about mandates, from their government or from their states, and being made spectacles, if you will, and examples put on the news for simply just saying how they feel. This is how we know, what time we're in, man. All right? Where the wicked is slowly gripping the necks of the people, man, to the point where they're going to have them in a headlock, man. All right? I just wanted to bring this out because this was just, to me, it was just proof, what's going on in the world, the control methods that they're using, the conditions of control that they're using to control people. And these men happen to be an example, being made of when you go against, all right, their narrative, man. All right? When you go against what they build to what they say is right. So with that, I'm going to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahshai Ba'Shem Rakah HaKwadash. Shalom.